Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage, to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's here to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 15% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US. And Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning 24/7 help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast.
Reimagine this holiday season with more capability and more adventure in Kia's ever-ready lineup. This winter, gift yourself what you really want during Kia's Season of Giving Back sales event. Kia is offering great deals on the capable Sorento and the spacious Sportage, and deals on even more vehicles like the all-electric EV6 and the fun-to-drive Forte. So visit your local Kia dealer and explore all your newfound possibilities by enjoying Kia's Season of Giving Back. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely. Event ends 1/2/24.
You want the noise brought on you? Because here it comes.
What?
The noise brought on you, because here it comes.
This is my job.
Showtime. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Ready.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz,
Is this show getting more and more difficult for you to do?
That's gotta be it!
Jeff Lutz,
This isn't that hard.
There are so many great things to do with the human mouth. Why waste it on talking?
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Stand by for action.
Welcome, everybody. It is a Thursday edition, the Bob and Jeff Show, KFH Radio. I'm Bob Lutz. Jeff Lutz, my son, is the co-host. Max Power, not related, the producer and engineer of the show. Got a nice surprise earlier this afternoon. In fact, just less than an hour ago, a Facebook friend reached out, said, congratulations. You've been selected by the Podcast as a recipient of a donation to League 42. Of course, I knew nothing about that. Apparently, you had reached out to Joe Posnanski. Tell us about that endeavor.
I just texted the guy. I think it was you that told me that they were looking for baseball-related charities. I didn't know anything about it. I listen to their podcast occasionally, but I mostly just read what Joe Posnanski writes on his Substack, so I didn't know much about it. But I just sent Joe a text, said outline League 42, what it is, what it does, sent him the link to your website, and that was it.
We were chosen.
Did not hear back, but I guess it worked.
We were one of 4 charities chosen by the Podcast, Joe Posnanski, Michael Schur. Does he have a show currently on television?
I don't think so.
That's too bad.
But he's done Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Parks and Rec and The Good Place.
By the way, the death of Andre Brower was
horrible,
difficult. Hit hard the other night. Who was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine? But anyway, they do a podcast that they call the Podcast, and League 42, one of the 4 recipients of their charitable donation. So we appreciate that. That's cool. And he also asked others who listen to the podcast. I imagine he gets a decent listenership.
Yeah, that's a pretty popular podcast.
To join in. Maybe we'll get some other peripheral donations.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
That would be nice.
Yeah, good job. Congratulations.
Well, aren't you the one who kind of made it happen?
I guess.
Well, why don't you take some credit for it?
I don't need
to
take
at my behest, you texted him, and turns out
it got through.
We got a little reward for it. All right, the show today. Mike Kennedy, the voice of the Shockers, joins us at 2:25, Wichita State, with a home game coming up Saturday night against Southern Illinois from the Valley, like old times. The Salukis visiting Koch Arena. At 2:45, Ben Hamilton, the girls basketball coach at Mays South, will join the show. And then in hour number 2, we'll make our picks. And all of us coming off a rather mediocre set of picks last week.
Pretty pedestrian.
3 of us were 4-4. You were 3-5.
Yikes.
So nobody really took a gigantic step. We start bowl games. We have 9 games to pick.
Why are we picking 9?
I just want to. I'm giving people a chance to catch me.
Some of these catch you?
Yeah, I'm in first.
By how many points?
Oh, by quite a few now. 10.
That's not that many.
But anyway, why not give people a chance? I'm a fair-minded individual.
Okay, well, we'll pick 9 then. I don't know why we're picking the Independence Bowl.
Because it's interesting.
Is it?
Yeah.
Cal, Texas Tech?
Yeah.
That might be the
6
least
and 6
interesting
teams.
game I've ever heard of.
It's the Independence Bowl down in Shreveport. Kansas State has a history in it. I just felt like that's a game I wanted to pick.
Well, we're picking it. And we're all very excited about it.
I'd have to, if we ever do a top 10 again, I'd rank my top 10 bowl experiences. I think
Really?
I've had 10.
I've had 2 that I know of.
Which bowl games did you
Well, I went with you to the Holiday Bowl in San Diego.
That was I've been there. That was when K-State played. I was there another time when Barry Sanders was wrapping up his college career. I covered the Holiday Bowl when he played in it.
And I chased some quotes for K-State in the Cotton Bowl.
What were you doing at the Cotton Bowl?
I was chasing quotes. I went and interviewed some folks after the game. And
Were you with me?
I believe so, yes.
Huh. Wonder which Cotton Bowl that
It was Jonathan Beasley.
That was I covered a few Cotton Bowls.
Did they play Tennessee?
They did. They had a game against Tennessee. I believe they played Syracuse and BYU. Syracuse, I'm not 100%.
Syracuse was a Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, it was. Donovan McNabb. They played BYU and Tennessee in the Cotton Bowl. And that Tennessee game, I believe I'm thinking
A long
correct,
time ago.
was very cold.
It was, yes.
Like frigid. Like ridiculously cold.
Yeah, it was cold. I think
Never
there was a
forget
little
that.
trace of snow on the ground.
Yeah, it was awful.
Well, we
I didn't
were
have
indoors.
to cover the game outside, but you had to be outside to do some of the things.
A little bit.
So that'd be fun. I'm going to go back and look at some of the bowl games. I think the most memorable bowl game that I covered was KU in the Orange Bowl. Their win over Virginia Tech and everything that led up to it. It was just remarkable. But I'm sure K-State would get a couple in that mix as well.
Were you there when the whole L. Roberson situation?
I was.
That was against Ohio State.
I was. That was a nightmare. All the stuff that with L. Roberson broke. We were playing pool in the media center at the time, and several of us got a little heated.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't. It
For
was
what?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Was it all?
I don't remember. It wasn't pleasant.
You guys got upset with each other?
That's my recollection.
That doesn't make
That
any
may
sense.
have not been connected to the L. Roberson thing.
Maybe it was a pool dispute.
I don't remember exactly, but I know that we stayed in a wonderful place for that particular bowl game in Scottsdale, Arizona.
There you go. I wasn't
Nice
there.
place. All right, Mike Kennedy's going to join us at 2:25. We'll talk about the Shockers. I don't know how much people are talking about the Shockers these days. Coming off a couple of losses in a row. They do have Southern Illinois, followed by a break for the holiday, and then back-to-back games against Kansas State and Kansas.
Yeah, those will be talked about. They'll be on the radar for those. Southern Illinois, I think, is going to be, I want to say tough, But they got blasted by Indiana State. They just got
They also
destroyed.
blasted St. Louis.
But is St. Louis good?
I don't think St. Louis is very good, but they beat them by 30. I don't know what to make of Southern Illinois.
They've got a guy who averages 20, and then he's the only double-figure scorer, but they have 5 other guys who average between 8 and 9.9. It's like weird.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to make of Southern Illinois.
I'm not either.
Coached by Brian Mullins, who's been there now a little while, former player at Southern Illinois. So I don't know.
I got nothing.
I expect that game to be difficult for the Shockers, because I think Southern Illinois is okay. I don't think they're world beaters, but I think they're decent.
That Indiana State result kind of threw me for a loop.
They're 6-3. They did lose that game to Indiana State, which looks to be really good. They're coming off a win over Oklahoma State and a 2-point loss to Austin Peay. They also lost to James Madison, which is a very, very good team.
Wasn't that game close?
They lost that game by 6. So their losses are by 6, 2, and 29 to Indiana State. I don't know what to make of that.
It's weird.
They do have those wins over Oklahoma State and St. Louis, and I expect that to be, if I was setting that line, and you know I'm good at this, I was right on that Missouri-Kansas line. That one just kept going back and forth, drove me nuts. If I were setting the line for Wichita State, Southern Illinois, I'd have Wichita State as a 5.5-point favorite.
I was going to say 7.5.
I wouldn't go that high. I don't think the Shockers have earned that extra 2 points yet.
Maybe not. But we still don't really know what to make of Southern Illinois, as you mentioned. We don't really know what to make of Wichita State at this point.
Well, it's a little early to know what to make of hardly anybody.
It is.
I will tell you this. Who's the coach at Drake?
Darren DeVries.
That guy is
Arian
amazing.
DeVries.
Why is he not getting huge offers?
I don't know. What do you want to say about him?
Well, Drake, I don't know if you remember when they were just horrifically bad.
Yeah, you wanted them out of the league.
I wanted them out of the league. I didn't care if they left the country. They were so bad. And for many, many years in a row, and they just kept being bad. And then they had that one year where they got to the Sweet 16 or something. You remember that year?
Yeah, I do.
An outlier
Adam
year.
Emenecker.
Yeah. That came out of nowhere. We couldn't believe it. And then the next year they were kind of Drake again. And they stayed that way until they brought this guy in. And now they've been good for 4 or 5 years in a row.
What's their record
They're
now?
9-1.
Well, Drake's good.
They're 2-0 in the Missouri Valley Conference, and they're having another really good year.
Who's their loss to?
They lost a game to Stephen F. Austin, believe it or not, by 24.
That doesn't make any sense.
There's always weird things that happen,
especially
very
early
weird
on.
Things. They have a 17-point win over Missouri State, a 6-point win over St. Louis, a 19-point win over Nevada. And they have a common opponent in Lipscomb. Wichita State beat Lipscomb, and so did Drake. But, I'm looking forward to
nice for Wichita State to schedule Drake.
Would it? Would it move any needle at all? Do you think Southern Illinois is a game that people are lining up to see just because of nostalgia?
Well, I don't know what Wichita State...
There was a time when Wichita State and Southern Illinois had a heck of a rivalry.
I know. It didn't last for very long.
It didn't last for very long, but it was really good.
In the early 2000s.
Remember the Jen Sterner game? Wasn't that against Southern Illinois?
I don't know who that is.
Where they brought in, wasn't Stephen A. Smith here? And
Jen Sturger?
Yeah. And there was all that hoopla. I think that was Southern Illinois.
Wasn't that Northern Iowa?
Yeah, it might have been. It was one of those. But at one time, Wichita State and Southern Illinois had a pretty good battle going on.
Yeah, for a couple years, late 90s, early 2000s. That was about the only time they were both good. Darren Brooks.
It
was after Darren Brooks.
Southern Illinois had some really good teams.
I know.
I saw them almost knock off KU out in California, somewhere out there.
NCAA
in an
tournament.
tournament.
Yes.
And I wrote a column about that game and was not very complimentary of the Jayhawks. And for the only time in my career, Bill Self called me and didn't like it.
Really?
That was weird.
He called you?
No, he called me.
What did he say?
Said he didn't like it.
But what did he give me something?
I don't remember that what I wrote was unfair and stuff like we left on good terms. Bill's never going to be a jerk about things. He just wanted to point out that he didn't disagree with that particular column. Didn't like it.
Didn't agree.
Yeah, didn't agree with it. What I say.
Said didn't disagree.
Well, maybe you said that too.
Maybe. But K-State won and advanced. What year? Who did they lose to that year?
I don't know. It
UCLA?
all runs together. No, it all runs together. I can't remember anything. I barely remember that.
Yeah, I sort of remember it.
I think that was I think that happened in San Jose or somewhere, Orange County, somewhere out there.
Somewhere.
Anyway, just a trip down memory lane on college basketball. There have been no games worthy of my time to watch. So we watched that movie last night that the Obamas co-produced. What's the name of it?
Something about the end of the world, or I don't remember.
It certainly held my interest.
Julia Roberts is in it.
She is. At 56. That just blew my mind, too. Ethan Hawke's in it. Kevin Bacon. Pretty good cast.
All those Gen Xers.
Pretty good cast.
We can't call them boomers. They're not quite old enough, but that's the Gen X crew. Did your wife enjoy the movie? And what does it mean by it held your interest? Does that mean you liked it? Or
I'll get to that.
Or what does that mean? Our friend Shannon Great.
Leave the World Behind is the name of the movie. And Mahershala, is that how you say his name?
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali was great. He's great in everything.
I'm surprised I know that name.
I'm not surprised.
I don't know many celebrities anymore.
That's too bad. You don't spend much time in that realm anymore.
I don't.
But it was a fascinating movie. The ending has been panned widely, and I can understand why, and I won't give it away, but the ending wasn't satisfactory. It was predictable and not rewarding.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Should I watch it?
Well, I like movies.
I understand.
I don't go to nearly the movies that I used to, and I'm trying to make up for that. And I like sitting and watching a movie. I like making the commitment is difficult because all you think about when you're at home, oh man, that's not going to end till 9:40, and
exactly.
You talk yourself out of it. I'm done talking myself out of it.
You're going to talk yourself
Tonight
into
it's
it.
Barbie.
Really? What are you watching that on?
Let's get to our friend Max, who's holding at 869-1240. That's the IHOP hotline. Max?
Hey, guys. How's it going? End of the World movie on Netflix. 2 thumbs down. It pissed me off.
Well, you can't give it 2 thumbs down simply because you didn't like the ending.
Trash movie.
It's a good movie.
2 hours of my life I'll never get back, Bob. 2 hours of my life I'll never get back.
It was a movie meant to make you think. It wasn't setting out to give you a declaration or to spell it out for you. To me, what that movie did was cause me to think, and I'd give it out of 5 stars. I'd give it a solid 4.
Wow.
Okay. I don't think it was that good, but I respect your opinion. You know you're my boy. It just what was the I guess the summary, the plot summary or the message? The message is that we're too reliant on technology as a society, and this is what happens when we can let technology, I guess, overtake our lives. Was that kind of the prevailing message
I think that's
there?
a part
and what
of it.
was the deal with
I think a lot of it is just our inability to get along and to develop bonds, and it goes a little deeper than the technology for me, but I don't know. I mean, each person's going to view a movie in their own way, right? I mean, there's not going to be a consensus, especially when you have a movie as ambitious as that one was. I can understand people who say, you know what, it just didn't do it for me.
Now, what was the symbolism behind the deer and the animals? What do you think that was all about? You think?
I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, I mean, it's
and the
you gotta
the
think.
Kids' teeth falling out.
Like they said in the movie, animals get it. Animals can forewarn. Animals can sense. And that's what I took out of that.
And I got to tell you, I love the actor. What's his name? Mahershala Ali, the guy from Green Book.
Mahershala Ali.
That guy is a stud. Was he two-time Academy Award winner? And then Julia Roberts still got it, in my opinion. Woo!
Yeah, it was a good cast. It was a good movie. I'm glad I watched it. And tonight, like I said, it's on to Barbie.
Oh yeah, Margot Robbie.
Thanks, Max. We appreciate it.
Hey,
one
more thing.
Go ahead.
Can you ever watch a movie with that one actor in it, the guy who plays Julia Roberts' husband, without thinking of the movie Training Day? That will always be his best role. What
Ethan
a great
Hawke.
movie. Denzel Washington, one of the GOATs. Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke's put together a very nice career. I certainly think of that every time I see him.
He's got a few signature roles. He's got that. He's got Reality Bites, the Before Sunset movie. I think there's a few that he what was Boyhood? Wasn't he in that?
Yep. Bob, I got to tell you, I had to break up End of the World movie into 2 different nights. I'm getting old. I can't watch a 2-hour movie anymore without getting tired and wanting to go to bed.
It's difficult. Thanks, Max. Good to hear from you.
Well, you guys have a good time.
Okay. Why'd you chuckle when I said I'm watching Barbie?
I don't know. It's just kind of funny.
Well, Barbie's gotten
I just didn't expect
a lot of acclaim.
Barbie. Like that's
don't worry about it.
I mean, I'm not upset at you for watching the movie. It's just the declaration that's kind of funny.
Good. Let's take a break, Max. When we come back, we'll talk to the voice of the Shockers, Mike Kennedy. Wichita State off to a 7-3 start. They've lost a couple in a row. We'll get Mike's thoughts on Shocker basketball next.
Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage, to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's here to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 15% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US. And Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning 24/7 help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast.
Reimagine this holiday season with more capability and more adventure in Kia's ever-ready lineup. This winter, gift yourself what you really want during Kia's Season of Giving Back sales event. Kia is offering great deals on the capable Sorrento and the spacious Sportage, and deals on even more vehicles like the all-electric EV6 and the fun-to-drive Forte. So visit your local Kia dealer and explore all your newfound possibilities by enjoying Kia's Season of Giving Back. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. Event ends 1/2/24.
You're staring at the computer screen and have written, then deleted the same sentence over and over again. Your work needs to get done, but the writer's block is real. That's where the free Odyssey app can help, with thousands of podcasts to boost your mood, inspire you, and even teach you a thing or two. Jump into Glennon Doyle's We Can Do Hard Things, The Tony Kornheiser Show, and say more with Dr. Sheila, starring Amy Poehler. Download the free Odyssey app and start listening. Your favorite mood break, your Odyssey.
The Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mike Kennedy joins us. Thanks for being on with us. We're curious what your thoughts are through 10 games, Wichita State basketball. There's been some highs. I've been impressed with quite a few of the games, actually, that I've watched, but not really the last two. What do you think's going on with Shocker basketball at the moment?
I guess for me, the bottom line would be that they have been farther along probably than I thought they might be by this point in the season. Just all the newness, new staff, a lot of new players, not the deepest team in the world. I think, all in all, it's positive. Certainly Saturday night was a major disappointment for everyone. But I guess, those are inevitable. Those may happen from time to time, especially when you're building something, doing the show with Coach Mills on Monday night. He definitely was disappointed, a lot of things to correct, but I think felt like it may have been an important step in the players realizing some things that they've been trying to get across to them that maybe they didn't totally accept, and that really brought it home to them. So I think, we'll see what happens this Saturday night, but I think that could be an important step in the development of this team.
So you mentioned not the deepest team. What do you think the seven-man rotation means on a bigger picture, if anything? I know we expected maybe something from Jacob Germany. It doesn't sound like that's going to materialize, but maybe not using it as a developmental year for the freshman Joey Ega. I don't know how to pronounce the last name, but some of those. Does it mean that he's trying to win right away and maybe not looking at it as a developmental year for some guys, or am I just thinking about that too deeply?
No, to some extent, I think that's been the goal. Is let's play the guys that give us the best chance to win. Let's try to win as many as possible. Certainly. They've been through a lot of college basketball seasons. They know that seven's a little bit of a short number. A lot of teams don't play more than seven extensively, but usually there's an eighth or ninth guy that play a little more than these have. I think in Joy's case, I think physically he's ready to help them. It's just a matter of there's been a lot to learn. His background in basketball in Africa wasn't real extensive based on the normal freshman coming into major college basketball. And so there's been a lot for him to pick up. And but I still think no matter what happens with this current ruling by the judge about the eligibility of Ronnie DeGray, for instance, that maybe the best chance to add to the depth eventually is for Joy to play more. Jacob Germany is just not turned out to be what you would have thought from his stats at his previous school. It's not to say that he couldn't still help them some. So I think they really went into this looking at it as we've got seven guys we know we can count on. Let's get them in the best shape possible. They've even taken some steps. I think they feel like, for instance, an Xavier Bell is athletic enough to be more aggressive on defense and maybe come up with some steals occasionally, and they've kind of backed him off of that because he needs to play a lot of minutes, and they don't want him getting in foul trouble.
Mike Kennedy, our guest, longtime voice of Wichita State athletics. Let's talk about attendance, Mike, because it's obviously attendance had fallen off the previous 2 years. COVID took its toll. And we saw attendance the other night down at Intrust Bank Arena that I think was a shock to the system for many, because that game has always been pretty well attended. There was a time when it was a sellout waiting to happen, 15,000 people strong. How concerned are you, and how concerned do you think the Shocker athletic department is about attendance?
Well, I'm sure the athletic department is concerned overall, and I know that they've been working really hard in the off season to keep season ticket sales at as high a level as possible. I figured you would ask me about this, and my response is we could probably do a whole show on this and barely scratch the surface because there are so many factors involved. And you mentioned that I think the COVID thing changed everything for everybody. But, the fans here, I hate to use the term, but got a little spoiled. And so I think that's been a factor. I think that, the overall age of the Wichita State fan base has been getting older and older over time. And so I think that's, some of those people still support it financially or still, really care about it, but they have winter homes somewhere else, those kinds of things, or just don't get around as well anymore. So I think that plays into it. Something that's been mentioned to me that's a trend that people have studied is that younger people, if you will, kind of the new wealthy or the up and coming, young prominent citizens in the community are part of a generation that doesn't tend to make long-term commitments to things like, say, season tickets. That they might come to every game, but they'll buy an individual ticket for that particular game. So there's a lot of stuff that plays in. The biggest thing that's a disappointment to me is this has been a fun team to watch. They play a fun style of basketball. They play together well. I think if people would get out and give it a look instead of taking a deep wait and see type of approach to things, that they might enjoy what they see.
This is probably strictly an opinion question. I don't know that there's a whole lot of inside information that's being put out. But do you think Bijan Cortez ever plays for Wichita State? From the way outside looking in, it's hard to tell if the commitment is there from both sides. It seems like, the Shockers are trying to get him eligible, but who knows if he ever will be. And do you think it's possible that they just, hey, we'll recruit our point guard, we'll get a point guard in the transfer portal and just go a different direction?
Honestly, Jeff, I don't have all of the information, but it's my understanding that it has to do with where he was in his progress toward graduation at Oklahoma and started making up some hours in the summer, but then OU said that those hours should have been made up there. And so I think that there is some kind of possibility that he could still get eligible for the second semester. But if not, he still has a year of eligibility available. He's been practicing the entire time. I think they see him as a player who definitely can contribute, if not this year, then in the remaining year, and will be familiar with the system. And so my thought is if he doesn't play this year, that he will next year. Now, that's not 100% sure thing, but that's just my feeling more than it's a now or never thing.
Mike Kennedy, our guest, voice of the Shockers. Southern Illinois, the next opponent. You and I both had many days covering Wichita State when they were members of the Missouri Valley Conference. It's been a little while now. But for me, and I won't speak for you, but I think I probably know how you feel. Those were remarkably enjoyable and fun times when Wichita State was in the Valley. Of course, we both applauded their move to the American, and I'm not looking back on that and second-guessing it whatsoever. But it's cool to have a Valley opponent coming up, isn't it?
It is for me. And, I don't know how to phrase it exactly. I agree with everything you just said, first of all. But I guess the term would be proud or sort of gratified that the Valley has kind of held its own and held its head up. And Darren DeVries has done a great job at Drake. And some of the other programs have, at least for a year or two or three at a time, have put some good good runs together, have had some good teams. Southern Illinois is coming off a 23-win year last year that was the best year they'd had since their coach Brian Mullins was a sophomore point guard for them. And so I'm happy to see those things, and I'm happy to see the league still doing well. And yeah, it is fun to play those schools again. I'm sure you remember Mike Reese, their longtime play-by-play broadcaster,
Absolutely.
and he just retired last spring. And I sent him a text when the schedule came out and said, "Oh yeah, now we finally play you, and you're not coming." And it ends up he's going to drive down here with a friend for the game, and we're going to have lunch on Saturday.
Wow.
So, but it's fun to renew those those relationships, and certainly there were some of those places. Southern Illinois was one of those arenas where when they weren't going well, there wouldn't be very many people there. But some of the good years they had, that place was electric, and it was a fun place to go play. And the same could be said for some of the other arenas around the conference. And so, I think it's good to keep those things going. It still makes a lot of sense when you get the right one on the schedule. There hasn't been a basketball relationship with Missouri State since the Shockers left the Valley. But, I mean, that's a program that's been good at times, and geographically the travel and everything makes sense. So I hope some of that can continue.
Do you have any similar feelings yet about the American? Because I have not worked in the newspaper industry since Wichita State joined the American, so I haven't been to these different places. And, of course, the American has changed considerably since Wichita State joined. Do you have any similar feelings of good feelings about the current state of things in the American?
It's a little bit hard to get a feel for some of that because of all the transition. Houston, when we first came into the league, wasn't drawing anybody, and then they got really good a year or two later and started filling their arena. SMU has not been a great venue. I like the arena, but they don't draw especially well. And the same kind of with UCF, which is leaving the league. So, I don't know how much of that has an effect. I have a feeling North Texas is going to be a good place in the league, that UAB certainly could be. FAU, I'm sure, is excited right now. Memphis, now that they're up there at the top and a very good program, they put, if not a full house, a lot of people in the FedEx Forum. And so just from the standpoint of atmosphere and some of the places we play, it's pretty good. And I think that, you look at the teams that have left, the schools that have left, Houston right now is a top 5 program, so you're not going to replace that probably. But you get an FAU that was in the Final Four and is top 20, so that's good. Memphis is a tournament level program. Some of these others have exhibited that they can bid. So I think that the top to bottom, I don't think the league has really lost anything. Cincinnati's having a good start, but they haven't been what they were when Mick Cronin was there. So I don't know that the league has lost a lot. I still think it's a good place for the Shockers to be. I think it can be consistently a multiple bid league. I hope more than even 2. I hope it's going to be a league that at times will have 3 or 4, tournament teams. But it's still, I think, overall in perception and a lot of things, it was still a step up for Wichita State, and it could move.
And before we let you go, we have to ask you about Shohei joining your Dodgers, and the Dodgers seemingly in on every player not named Babe Ruth. How do you feel about all that?
Well, it's exciting, but, it'd be nice if they win a playoff game sometime. I mean, they had a team that had the best record in franchise history and couldn't get past the first round of the playoffs. That's been disappointing. So, and I like Dave Roberts, but I got to think that this is really show or go for him. If you can't go a little farther with Shohei as part of an already loaded lineup, then maybe it's time to look for somebody else to run the thing.
All right, Mike, good catching up with you. Best of luck on your call Saturday night. Old Times, Southern Illinois visiting Koch Arena. We appreciate your time.
Hey, one quick mention. If anybody's on the fence thinking about coming, Southern Illinois has a guard named Xavier Johnson, who I have watched on TV. He is the real deal. Might be one of the best guards in the country. Could be an All-American. It should be a fun game Saturday night.
Yeah, he is fun to watch. Good plug. Thanks, Mike.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Mike Kennedy, voice of the Shockers, as they prepare for the Salukis of Southern Illinois coming up Saturday night. Ben Hamilton joins us, the girls basketball coach at Maize South. They're off to a 3-0 start. They have Newton coming up tomorrow night at home, right, Coach?
Yeah, that is correct. Coming up tomorrow, we're excited for it. Appreciate you having me.
You bet. So we know Maize South has a boys team that has its sights set on trying to win a state championship. You seem to be at that level as well. Tell us a little bit about your team.
We like our team a lot. Just focusing on a day-to-day process, trying to keep our focus one day at a time. We really just look to try to get a little better every single day. I like our team a lot. This is a team unlike any group that I've coached in my 7 years that I've been coaching girls. The depth that we have is unlike, I think, anybody in Wichita and maybe even anybody in Kansas. We have 9 kids that we feel really, really comfortable playing. Great senior leadership, but I've told many people we got 4 kids coming off our bench that would start for most high school teams in Kansas.
Yeah, so you talk about a day at a time. How tough is it when you have a team like this, if tough at all? Maybe it's easy to enjoy the journey when you know a lot of how your season is defined will be determined kind of in February and March. Is that tough at all? Do you have to remind yourself?
We do. Something special that we have. Talking about the depth of the team, we have some at times very, very competitive practices. Having those 9 kids that are all playing a lot of varsity minutes, and we've got some up and coming JV kids as well. We feel we can put 10 kids on the court to practice that can simulate maybe a state tournament game or simulate maybe a league championship game. So with that said, keeping our sights set on that and focus on just kind of baby steps every day. We want to take steps forward and avoid taking steps backwards.
Ben Hamilton, our guest, the girls basketball coach at Maize South. So get into some of your personnel for us. Tell us, you mentioned 9 players. I don't know if you want to talk about all 9 of them, but who are the girls on your team that have provided you with the best leadership and statistical fortitude so far?
We've got 4 really, really special seniors, and I think it really starts with that group. That's why we have the practices that we have. Their leadership kind of guiding the ship every single day in practice. I'll start off with returning all conference kids. Sophie Hurley, she shot the 3-pointer for us last year at 35%. She is as consistent as anybody you'll find. She shoots the ball well. She is a ritual kid. She gets in, she gets her shots in here and there, and making sure that she's just consistently doing the little things every single day. Not all she can do is just shooting, but that's really what she's known for, her strength. Ava Howie, she's had 2 double-doubles through 3 games for us. She's a big, tough kid, man. She's a bruiser. We call her our blue-collar toughness kid because the way she bangs around the basket, goes after the ball. She's kind of a junkyard dog. And then we have the luxury. We have 2 really good point guards. We have Ashley Singate. She currently right now has had over 5 assists in all 3 of our games. She's been in the 20s a couple different games scoring it. Does a lot of little things for us defensively as well. And then another point guard that we have, which is a huge luxury most teams don't have, is having 2 point guards, Bella Peters. And she is one of the better leaders that I've ever coached. She gets people in the right spots every day in practice and games. And when she comes in, she competes, and she means business every day.
Talked about Ashley Singate, a transfer from Eureka, and going to go on and play in college. So I doubt the step up from 3A to 5A has been nothing but smooth. But was that a point of curiosity for you, how she would do against bigger, probably in stature and school size, bigger opponents?
Yeah, I think so. I think Ashley kind of came in with a little bit of a chip on her shoulder to prove herself that she could do it at the 5A level here in Wichita. So she's been a great addition to our team. She's she's an incredible teammate. She's been a great fit for us from the standpoint of just the way that she treats her teammates, the way she's respected. You watch her play on the court, and you're blown away by her athleticism and some of the things that she does with the basketball. Well, see her behind the scenes, the way she interacts with her teammates and the way she treats everybody and rallies everybody together. She's more than just a basketball player, and I've said it before, and I truly feel her best basketball is in front of her. She's only going to get better. She's a phenomenal athlete. She was a state champion 300 hurdle runner. She's got a 28-inch vertical. She was a really standing at 5'8". You don't think 5A Maize South volleyball you can make much of an addition. Well, she was a middle blocker at 5'8". She can bounce. She can really jump. She's very athletic.
Wow. Ben Hamilton, our guest, Maize South girls coach. So you're coming off a win over your rival Tuesday night. You beat Maize by 19. You have Newton coming up, and then before the break, you get a home game against Derby, and then right after the break, you get a home game against Hutchinson. Those are going to be tests, and those are going to tell you a lot about where your team is.
Yeah, they will. And, you know, we look forward to challenges like that. Having a team like this, you know, that's what we talk about in the off season. That's what we work for. The past 7 years that I've been here at Maize South, the league titles ran through Derby, Kansas, and until they get knocked off the top, they're the champ. And we're looking forward to that matchup. We've been working hard for that. We know they have a really good team. They'll be well prepared. Coach Brian Chadwick took over their program recently, and he's got some experience being a head coach at Wichita Northwest, and he's assistant coach under Joe Auer at Heights, so he's had some really good mentors, and we know they're going to be well prepared, and it's a challenge we really look forward to.
All right, we enjoyed catching up with the Maize South, the Mavericks, coached by Ben Hamilton. Thanks for your time. Best of luck. We'll probably talk to you again soon.
Hey, that sounds great. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Thanks.
All right, Ben Hamilton, the girls coach at Maize South, kind of getting through all the teams that we think people should maybe try to get out and see. Certainly that Derby Maize South game coming up on the 19th, both the boys and girls, would be fun. And, you know, as the crow flies, Maize South is the closest high school to me.
Are we doing this again?
Well, you do understand that.
Closer to the Northwest?
It's at 29th and Tyler. I'm at 21st and West. It's just a few
I think
miles.
Northwest is closer.
If I could fly over there, I'd get there.
I think Northwest is closer.
No,
I think
Northwest is at 13th and Tyler.
I think North is closer.
North is maybe a little closer, but I'm talking about as the crow flies.
I don't care about the crow flies.
I'm not talking about the driving. I was thinking of that. Had the big ditch not appeared, it could be a very easy drive over to Maize South.
I don't know. Maybe I'm going to check the mileage.
Well, that's something we can certainly talk about when we come back from break.
It's 4.1 miles to Maize South.
That's not very far. That's my point.
I hear you.
I think North is probably a little
3.3 to Northwest and 2.3 to North. So,
as the
crow flies, as the penguin waddles.
I'm close to Maize South. That's all I'm saying.
Relatively.
Yeah.
By the way, did I tell you, Heights boys, South boys?
Well, the Heights boys look like they're going to just romp. I don't know when they play Capon. I'd like to know that.
Capon only beat East by like 6 or 8.
I think East is okay.
Maybe.
From my scouts out in the field.
And I'll tell you this. I hate to say it because the Derby girls are coached by a Chadwick. That game will not be close. Maize South Derby will not be close.
Why do you say that? And I dare you to say that to Joanna.
I don't want to say it to Joanna.
No, I'm going to have.
But I just got to call it like I see it. And Maize South is not going to be challenged by Derby.
Well, I don't. Why would you say that?
That's just what I believe.
Well, now I'm going to call Joanna Chadwick.
I don't like having to say that.
Why do you say it then?
Because it's what I believe.
Why? Who cares what you believe?
Well, we were talking about the game.
Why do you think Derby's down, or do you just think Maize South is that good?
I think Maize South is that good. Derby's down a little because they don't have Addie Brown.
Well, we'll see about that. I'm not sure I believe you.
Okay.
Derby's undefeated.
Derby's good.
They're 2-1. So stand by on that.
I think Mays South is a state championship level team.
Derby beat Arc City by 30. I don't know where you're going with that. Oh, I love that green look of Derby.
It's a nice look.
They lost to McPherson by 2. They beat Andover Central by 17. Mays South beat Andover Central by 18. So I don't know where you're – I'm not sure.
We'll see.
That's the common opponent they have, and they both beat them by double digits.
I hate that for Andover Central.
Actually, Mays South beat them by 24. Derby beat them by 17. So similar results.
Yeah, it's close.
Andover Central's down a little bit this year.
Yeah, I hate that. I love their team, their program, Stan at Jefferson.
Well, she'll get it figured out.
Makes me upset when they're not good.
Andover's the team.
I know.
You got Andover, Mays South. I don't think they play one another, which is too bad.
Yeah, Andover also state championship level. Of course, they're ranked number 1.
Well, yeah, they're good.
I like seeing Andover that good.
Obviously, they're good.
I like seeing that.
Well, I don't care what you like seeing.
I enjoy it.
When you insult Derby.
Didn't insult Derby.
When you insult Derby, you've insulted me.
Just telling you what I believe.
Andover has beaten Andover Central by 10. So Mays South Derby, boy, Andover Central's had a rough go of it.
Really, really impossible schedule, but yeah.
Andover beat McPherson by 17. They beat Mays by 40, and they beat Campus by 59. I don't know when they have a difficult game coming up.
Do they play McPherson? Do they play?
Well, they already played McPherson.
That's right.
They beat them by 17. So we'll see.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right, time for a break. We'll come back. Hour number 2, we've got picks coming up at 3:25. Jason Duda will join us, as will Max, to make our picks. Stay with us.
Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage, to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's here to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 15% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US. And Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning 24/7 help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast.
Reimagine this holiday season with more capability and more adventure in Kia's ever-ready lineup. This winter, gift yourself what you really want during Kia's Season of Giving Back sales event. Kia is offering great deals on the capable Sorrento and the spacious Sportage, and deals on even more vehicles like the all-electric EV6 and the fun-to-drive Forte. So visit your local Kia dealer and explore all your newfound possibilities by enjoying Kia's Season of Giving Back. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-3334-KIA for details. Always drive safely. Event ends 1/2/24.
You're staring at the computer screen and have written, then deleted the same sentence over and over again. Your work needs to get done, but the writer's block is real. That's where the free Odyssey app can help, with thousands of podcasts to boost your mood, inspire you, and even teach you a thing or two. Jump into Glennon Doyle's We Can Do Hard Things, The Tony Kornheiser Show, and say more with Dr. Sheila, starring Amy Poehler. Download the free Odyssey app and start listening. Your favorite mood break, your Odyssey.
It was a picturesque holiday when this storybook town reached a plot twist.
There was a divide in the town, turkey versus ham.
A community split down the middle, just in time for the big potluck.
When Teresa brought out the pork chops, girl, I knew it would get ugly.
Indeed. The next day, Teresa vanished, a victim of meat-based vindication. Will this town find justice despite potluck proclivities? Stay tuned.
Giant Spiral Sliced Ham, 99 cents per pound with a $25 purchase, limit 2.